is it possible? And then I met her, and I thought, for the first time in my life, this is possible. This is, you can have a future with somebody in New York. You can grow and love them, and everything that's possible in romance is possible with somebody. But I didn't really, as much as I wanted that my whole life, I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't get it. I couldn't wrap my head around it. So I'm a writer, and this is the second chapter of my new book. And I wrote it about Laura Lee and just sort of a vision of our future. So.
Oh, isn't that so sweet?
Yeah.
Ah, just amazing.
I always wanted to be in one of those epic romances where everyone else would be jealous of how we loved one another. We already are, I told her. And it was true. Everything I told her was truth incarnate. She nuzzled the top of her head even closer against my neck, her frizzy hair tickling my cheek. I brushed it back and lifted my chin a bit to hold it down. Our arms tightened around one another, bodies incrementally getting closer and closer, always seeking to remove those last shreds of space between us. Legs wrapped and entwined, the sheets draped and tucked here and there. We were perfect beauty, a monumental union. I splashed water on my face and ran my hand through my coarse hair. A haircut was long overdue, and a shave was even more so. The homeless look was more than a mere act. It had been my life for so long that now, looking up at that mirror, I tried to place the man that beneath all that rough mess. I suppose it was a matter of time. No time like the present, as my mother would say. I took out a buzzer and scissors and began the long process of reclaiming my place among civilized society, one snip at a time. By the time the sink was filled with the equivalent of 3 wigs, I smelled the coffee and bacon wafting from underneath the bathroom door. Satisfied with my hacking and slashing at my head and face, I came out to show my new self off. She was absently whipping legs up in the pan as I sat down at the table. "Smells delicious, baby." It really did. She glanced over her shoulder, a sly smile sliding alongside her, and her eyes danced across my haphazardly clean-shaven appearance. A chuckle, or perhaps even more a giggle, was let loose and her body bucked a bit. "You missed the spot." From smile to grin, a knowing look, an escaping sigh. We sat and ate in silence. Occasionally one of us looked up, drawing the other's attention, pulled into a stare, which we took turns breaking away from with a half-heartedly stifled smirk. We were playing at being bashful, our souls already having fully engulfed each other. What can I say about this feeling? It's love, it's communion, it's connection, it's everything that makes life worth living. I try not to question it, but it feels important that I understand it. That there's something about the way I feel when I'm with her. It feels like the reason I exist. I sit in the tub soaking, and she dips the straight razor into the warm bath water, cleaning the foam and chin whiskers from its blade. She motions upwards with her eyebrows and a subtle lift of her chin. I lift my head and she places her fingers gently against my throat before sliding the edge of the razor downwards. There, all done. She leans back, taking in her handiwork. "Though I will miss that beard of yours, mister. And I'll miss it as well." I find myself running my forefinger and thumb down my chin to find only skin. For years I would sit idly and stroke the stream of hair stemming from my face, look out on life as it sped me by in shiny silver cars, invisible to passerbys, camouflaged in urban hippie garb. But I was no hippie. I was no one. I was only lost and alone, and quite often cold, despite the warmth my body could produce. A shiver often took over me, and I tasted copper as my teeth chattered, imagining myself floating aimlessly through the dark matter of outer space. My belly was full, my person was clean, presentable. I still held on to my sanity. And as I rose from the water and this woman looked me up and down, pure Christmas morning birthday surprise joy, as she called it, beamed from her. "Let's get you dressed." She held out her hand. "We have a life to go lead." I took her hand. Together.